This is Craig Yanni with the Pacific Northwest Sasquatch Research Group, investigative researcher. Hey, I'm back up here to get the game cam, check the weather. It's a spectacular day. I got all my gear right there. We're gonna go swap SD cards and batteries and then come back. I'm gonna do some food gifting. The big bag is a bunch of food. Okay, you guys, we're back. And I'm gonna try and record and talk as we're going over to this location. This is a really cool spot. This would be a great place for a camp over. This is moss right here. It would be great to set up your tent and get a really good sleep. Really nice here. Let's go this way. And trying to get to the area where I have my game cam set up, and I put it alongside this river, hoping that we would get something as far as data goes, as far as animals. Trackway. It's a tough area, but I'm thinking it's going to be a good one to keep checking out. Actually, I think I went the wrong way. It's better to cut through the forest. But what the heck? Just got to be careful. We're almost there too. I want to get back over this way a little more. And the game cam is still here, I see it. So that's good news. And the other one's here. So both game cams are still here. That's great news. And alright, here we go. There's one of them, and the other one's over there. So what I want to do now is I want to set up the camera and videotape me changing the card and the batteries and stuff like that. So let's set this down right over here. Okay, so I'm going to go change the batteries and swap out the SD cards and get the other game cam going and put some food out and then get out of here. Go fly the drone and then head back to the concrete world. Alright, so here we go. February 23rd, or no, excuse me, April 23rd, 2021. Towards the end of April here, and the weather's starting to get better and better, and you know, it hasn't rained in quite a while in Seattle, I mean in Washington State, so this week it's supposed to cloud up and rain, and I'll show you guys some of the weather. I'll show you guys some clouds and stuff like that, but it still hasn't rained in quite a while, so that's really good. Everything's dry. Hopefully we won't have a bad fire season. don't hear any birds. Okay, here's the other game cam. Get this one. Set up to go. It's on, and the batteries were full charged, and it looked like it didn't take any pictures. So I'm trying to figure out why is that. And hopefully it can trigger something here. game cam too. I'm gonna put it right on that tree right there. So you can watch me set it up. Tree's too big, so if I find another tree. I'm running out of options in this area. The only really spot now is over there. So let's try that. Go over here somewhere. Might work. Maybe this tree right here would work. Try that. I'm gonna put it on this tree right here. Okay guys, so I found a new tree behind me. Okay, so we got the cam set, and it's right here. And here's my sandy beach. One of these days I'm gonna go over there, check it out, look around. It's pretty cool looking. Be a good spot to go fishing. So game cam set. For some reason they're not. I don't know what's not making it work, but I got it set up. I'm gonna have to figure that out. See what's going on. Take one of these. It doesn't work this time. I'll take it home, set it up in my room, and test it and see what's going on. But let's do some food gifting and get out of here. So I'm gonna put them on that tree right there. Same tree I had last time. So that's my food gifting tree. This time I got bananas, and apples and oranges. Alright, let's zoom in on the tree here and show you what I got going. So there we go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 6 apples, 2 oranges, and a breakfast sandwich. That's what I'm trying. So hopefully this will work. We got 2 game cams set up. But I think I need to talk to somebody at Cabela's about the setup procedure for them. And they were working. For some reason they're not now. Or somebody's turning them off. So one or the other. The food is disappearing, that's for sure. It doesn't surprise me. Wild animals are probably eating it. So I'd love to get some footage of that. But I'm going to stop by Cabela's and talk to somebody over there. I'm heading out. I'm going to go head back now. And cameras are set. I'm ready to go. I should just go to setup mode. Hopefully this will work. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Hopefully it'll work. I'm going to stop by for sure. Talk to somebody about it. See what's going on. More than likely these batteries are all good here. Hey guys, it's Craig Yanni with the Pacific Northwest Sasquatch Research Group, and today I'm back up here at Sasquatch Valley with another researcher, and his name is Rob. I'm going to let him introduce himself, and we're going to talk a little bit about his experience. But I want to thank him for coming out here and meeting me, and you know, coming up with the story and tell me and sharing your story about Sasquatch with his wife. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm a lifelong resident of the state of Washington. My first experience was in 1969, and I've had many more since then. But most pertinent to the conversation today is in September of 2020, my wife and I made a journey up this road. Because the road had been reopened, and we wanted to see if we could get back up to now that the road was open again. Checked out the campground, beautiful place, went up the road to check that out, started up the trail, and had an interesting experience when we started up that trail. The trail switchbacks north to south until it comes up to the first plateau, and when our heads first kind of crested that plateau, but we're still on the switchbacks, when we would move to the south, when we had hit that transition, there was a very unusual whistle off to our left, like a bird whistle, but not a two-tone whistle, very high, very low.
And how long? 30 seconds?
Just
20 seconds?
No, just it's probably not going to come out, but very short.
Okay, a short blast. Maybe.
Yeah, and so we both looked at each other the first time we heard it and said, "That's the darndest bird I've ever heard." Yeah. And we turned and continued down the trail. It got to the north point to make its transition, and then over from our right, we heard the same whistle.
Ooh.
And so each time going up that trail, we would make the transition to the south or to the north. There'd be a whistle to one side or the other.
So a possibility of two somethings whistling back and forth to each other?
Two distinct whistling back and forth.
Wow.
And what it kind of felt like to us is one is saying, now they're over here. No, wait a minute, they're over here.
But it wasn't a person. It couldn't have been.
No.
Not at all.
No, because we did check out that area. So when we reached that bench, what I noticed that struck me as odd was there was a lot of old man's beard, but it had been pulled off of limbs, and it looked like something had been chewing on the end of it. Now, I don't know if that happened on the ground or if it happened while it was being carried, but there was this stuff all over. So we went over towards Downey Creek where it drops off, and as we walked over, right there from the creek bottom or that little draw, there was this very strange moan, something I've never heard before, and I've hunted all my life. And I've been up in this area since I was 2 years old.
So you have a history with the background of this area with your family and everything, and they raised you in this area.
Yes.
And they brought you here many times to check out this beautiful area. I mean, you guys seen the videos. This place is just so phenomenal, and there's so many different areas to check out. It's 650,000 acres of unknown researched area. You know, some of the areas like the river here, quite a few people come here to go fishing and hiking and stuff. But Rob, with his background and his believability of what's going on, I truly believe something's going on. But continue with your story. It's great.
Yeah, I want to back up for a minute, because one of the reasons I wanted to go up the Downey Creek Trail is that's the very trail that Briggs Hall, who's a retired state veterinarian for the Department of Wildlife, specializing in parasites that inhabit animals. Interrupted by an F-18.
Just had an F-18 fly through the valley here.
Briggs Hall has given the report that one night, while he had been up above on that ridge top, was getting on towards evening. He thought he'd better get down off the ridge. He was all done with his research, and he was coming down the trail, and he heard a whoop.
Like a large whoop.
Very large, powerful whoop.
Yeah.
And he whooped back at it, and he says, and I quote, he thought about it for a minute and realized there are no animals in Washington State that can whoop. And so that spooked him, and he decided to just beat feet down the trail and get out of here. So I wanted to go back up that trail. I'd never been on that particular one.
I haven't been there yet either, and I'm glad you're taking us towards that area.
Yeah, hopefully we'll experience something up there.
Yeah.
If nothing else, maybe it's a place to put up cameras and see what.
Well, that's what we're doing. So I brought these two game cams. These are over in my area here right now, and I just pulled them out, and I'm going to swap the SD cards. These are Bushnell low glow cameras that shoot high def, and they have IR sensors here on the outside, so those are picking up movement, and you can set them into picture mode and video mode. But finish your story, Rob. This is really cool.
Yeah, so anyway, as we started to walk over towards the draw where the ridge or the plateau falls off, we heard this very loud
Like a
kind
moaning
of a sound. A moan. Yeah, absolutely a moan. Now, I've heard bear bawling. I've had them bawl at me at very close range because they didn't want me there.
Yeah.
This was not a bear. It was nothing. It was like a...
Wasn't a mountain lion either. Maybe.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No,
yeah,
I mean,
they make weird noises.
Yeah, they do.
I've
They
heard
make lots
them
of
too.
weird noises. But it was, to say it, I think it most resembled to me a woman having labor pains.
Oh, wow. There we go.
It sounded like my wife birthing our children.
Okay, and you've experienced that,
Yeah.
so you know what that sounds like.
Yeah,
So it sounded like something that was moaning, could have been a bipedal elusive cryptid that we are researching out here. And so he's, he's got some good background and some good credibility with his job and when he hasn't talked about that yet, but that's okay. We'll get some of that out later on at the other spot. But let's finish and wrap that up so we can get to your spot. But what would you like to say about that experience that you had with were you with your wife?
I was, yes.
And
yes.
so you two probably are like, hey, did you hear that? And she's like, yeah, I heard that. And then you wanted to leave, or you wanted to like search around a little bit, or what was your feeling at that time?
So my knees have, I've got no cartilage in this one. The meniscus is torn in this, so I don't walk too far uphill like that.
Okay.
We walked over the edge, didn't see anything down in the draw or along the creek bottom. She wanted to continue on up into the trees.
Okay.
And I was really nervous about her getting out of my line of sight.
Right.
Because it was just unnatural enough what we had heard that I was on high alert. And
you were frosty. He was frosty, you guys.
Frosty. Yeah. She did walk up into the trees, and immediately, as soon as I didn't see her, I started calling for her. Well, she couldn't hear me.
Yeah.
And she finally came back out, and I said, "Didn't you hear me yelling at you?" And she said, "No, I couldn't hear you at all." Well, we weren't probably 50, 60 yards apart. And she couldn't hear me yelling, but we both could hear the whistling on either side and the moan coming from the draw.
Wow,
that's an idea of how loud that was.
That is just fascinating, you guys. Check that out. I mean, a credible witness having these unexplained experiences of not knowing what they are, and Sasquatch has been known and documented in this area. And remember, I told you that in my other video about In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy. They came out here with their TV crew and filmed out here and did an episode out here. And it was just a fascinating area. There's so much credibility from ex-police officers, ex-security investigators, and people from all different areas of the communities around here. I've talked to loggers and fishermen, and they've all had experiences out here. So, the funny thing is, something's going on out here, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. And hopefully these game cams are going to help us out. So let's get going over to Rob's area. Rob, you want to say anything else to them?
That In Search Of episode you're talking about,
yeah,
that's the one that Briggs Hall was featured on. So if people
right.
want to go back and see it for themselves, there it is.
So that was the little secret, like Alfred Hitchcock, I always throw in there, you guys. So if you listen to the videos, he caught that right away. Okay, guys, I got the drone out. We're going to give it a fly up the valley here. So I'm just waiting for the signal to come up on the controller. And it looks like we are good to go. Let me just adjust some stuff. Just waiting for the image transmission to happen. The interesting thing about Rob here, you guys, is I met him on the internet through another researcher, Roland Shaw. Let's give Roland a big plug. Absolutely. And I want to thank him for that. And you said that you helped Roland get into the Sasquatching biz a little bit. Let's just touch bases a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. He had filed a report with the BFRO. I'm also an investigator for the BFRO.
Tell everybody what the BFRO stands for.
Field Researchers Organization.
Yeah, and Matt Moneymaker is in charge of that.
Moneymaker.
And you were an investigator that was working with him, or are you still doing that, or you're not?
Yeah, I still do.
Okay.
I've gotten pretty selective about the cases I'll take on.
Yeah.
There has to be certain hallmarks and geographical locations that I'll go after them. But that's how I met Roland. He had filed a report.
Mm-hmm. And how long ago was that when you and Roland met?
I believe that was in 2014. Yeah, 2014 probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was like in the wintertime you had his, or summertime, or do you remember anything about his report?
Yeah,
it was in the fall?
In the fall.
Okay.
He had...
was that out here too?
No.
Okay.
That was up off the Mountain Loop Highway.
I've been up there.
Yeah, that's my usual stomping grounds.
Yes, sir.
Off Pilchuck Mountain.
Yeah. And you guys, that place is awesome, and I'm not kidding you. I'm not over-exaggerating here, but I've been up there. It's Mount Pilchuck's up there. There's been numerous reports. 2 girls were chased out of an area up in that there. I think it was by Lake 22. I'm going to have to check the actual report again, but that was really cool. But let's finish this little story with Roland. And hey, Roland, thanks again for introducing me to Rob. Rob's a great guy, and let's go back to that story.
So Roland and some of his buddies, I think there were 5 of them all together, had a passing interest in things Bigfoot and mostly going out in the dark and getting scared. And they went up to this road on Mount Pilchuck. It used to be an access road to the old ski area.
Let's walk and we're here at Sasquatch Valley, you guys. I took them to my other spot, but go ahead. And
yeah. So it was late in the evening that they'd got there, and they sat in the car, got out, walked around a little bit, and then returned to the car. It got dark. And they were sitting there when they started just to get kind of a creepy feeling.
Yeah.
And so the driver asked, and everybody in the car agreed, yeah, we should probably get out of here. And so they started up the car and started driving down the road. And the car had only gone a matter of feet in the full-on dark when Roland saw eye shine. And not just at one window, but on 3 sides of the car, there were different sets of red eyes staring in at them. And this was confirmed by 3 of the other people with Roland who saw the same thing. And it startled them enough that they picked up a little speed and got out of there and decided to report it to the BFRO.
And that's where you come in.
That's where I come in. So I called Roland, and
let's have you swing around this side.
He agreed to meet with me at the location.
Yeah.
So my wife and I drove up there in the late afternoon, met with Roland and his friends, and individually they all told me the same story. Minor little differences in detail, but that could be just a matter of recollection. It wasn't an issue for me. So while we were standing there, I said, well, let's just see if the thing is still around. I had a game call that I'd always wanted to try on Bigfoot. So I pulled out my game caller. And first,
do you have it with you?
No, I don't.
I was going to say, let's test it.
I did the fawn in distress call.
Yeah.
And I did that off and on for about 5 minutes, and then we let everything settle down, for maybe 10 minutes. And then I did the coyote gathering call, which is the call they all get when either they get together to head out as a pack, or when they've got some prey animal down for food.
Yeah. And
I played that, and I shut that off. And all of a sudden, all of us heard, and you could actually almost feel it in the ground. We heard something very large and definitely bipedal come storming down the mountain, down this access road. It was just thump, 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 and it was coming quick. And the closer it got to us, the more you really could almost feel it in the ground. There was that kind of a sensation to it.
It's kind of like elephants tromping through the forest or woods.
Yes.
Not that we would know anything about that, but I'm just saying, trying to get the idea here of what that would be like. It had to have been phenomenal being able to feel something heavy pounding the ground and getting that reverberation
it really
coming off the ground.
Yeah, it really was. And it stopped probably... looking back through the forest here, I'd say maybe 55, 60 yards away from us.
Wow.
Just in the trees
Half
where
a
we
football
couldn't
field.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where it stopped. And it just seemed to stay there.
Would you say it was a bluff charge?
No, I think it actually thought it was responding to a kill.
Yeah.
That it thought coyotes had killed this fawn and it was coming to get that free, easy meal.
Yeah.
And then it got to that distance and it could see that it was a silly little squishy human standing around and it lost interest. But the credibility, Roland's credibility and his friends that told me the story just automatically shot way up because we had this experience as well. And since then, I've never done that again because I really felt kind of bad about ringing the dinner bell and not serving any food. So
I can relate to that. I think Ron Moorhead has these audio vocalizations called Samurai Chatter, and I'm going to meet with him up here, and we're going to do call blasting with it. And so I think what you're saying is could be if you do that, you guys just remember that you could be drawing in something that you're not ready to deal with, or it could be something that could harm you, or it could just be like what happened to Rob and Roland and those guys. You're just going to have an experience, and hopefully it's not a bad one, it's a good one, and that you'll learn something from it. Maybe you should have deer out every time we do that. That way it's like a golden corral.
Yeah.
Smorgasbord time.
Yeah, if you're going to ring the dinner bell, have something to serve. Because there are those researchers out there who believe that Bigfoot will eat people. So I'm not one of them.
You're not one of them?
No.
Yeah. But what do you think of this spot here?
This is beautiful.
Yeah, let's look over here. This is where I usually get weird animal prints. And as you can see down there in the silt, there's some dog prints right now because people come up here and hang out. And the water's actually really warm. But the river is actually, it's past this little stream right here that is called an overflow washout, where the river gets too high, it splits back down there, and then we get a little bit of a current coming in here. And then if you look way down over that way, on the other side of this big sandy bar with moss on it, and this is where I've had all these different weird experiences, and this is where I'd have to say I'm going to come back and do an overnighter, probably here first, and then go to the other spot next time. But also this is where I'll fly the drone and shoot it all the way over that way, go up the river as far as you can see to that corner way up over there, and then bring it back down this way, you guys. And it's a
What does this remind you of when you look out across these alders here in the stream?
kind of like the 1967 Bluff Creek Sasquatch patty.
It really resembles Bluff Creek, yeah.
Absolutely. It's funny that you would say that. That's another shout out to Bob Gimlin. Yeah. But we're in an area, Bob, here where there's all these different, compared similar things that could have happened in your area. I sure would love to bring you up here and show you this area, because this is pretty phenomenal. It's great down that way. If you walked over that way, Rob, with me one time, you would not be discouraged. And I know you have knee pain and you can't go very far, but if you can ever get out here, go over that way and just cross right over here. What I was thinking on doing is making a little bridge with all these different rocks and leave an opening for fish to go up and down. And then we would be able to get across over there a little bit easier. It is kind of slippery, and you either bring your sandals and take your boots off and walk across. It's really refreshing doing that. And then once you get over to that area right over there, you guys, you can go to the right or you can go to the left. And I would suggest going to the left. And that's where I found all those really cool footprints. And this area gets hit a lot probably now with all the different people, but 20, 30 years ago, not a lot of people came here. But we're fortunate enough. We're here during a weekday. If it was a weekend, it would probably be taken. But you got to do an overnighter here. It's really cool. Do you want to go look at them?
Along the beach here, you've got cougar. You've got 4 different deer, one tiny, tiny little fawn.
Yeah.
And of course a lot of raccoons. So I don't know if the mountain lion was down here after the raccoon or preying on the deer. It's not that big a cat.
Yeah.
Pugs are only about like that. So I don't know, 120, 150 pounds maybe.
Yeah, I've seen it here. Many times.
The tracks I saw up here could be a barefoot human, but the proportions are off.
Yeah.
The tracks are 9 by 5.
Wow.
As you know, a Bigfoot's print, the width is 52% of the length.
Yeah.
Humans are much less than that. I mean,
Yeah.
a wide human foot is 46%.
Okay.
So it's way off the mark, but there's a good trail of them coming through there.
You want to go look at it? Let's go look at it. Maybe I'll get it on my video camera if the lighting's good. So that's good news, you guys. Back up here in this area always gets prints. You know, every time I've been here, I've gotten the cougar, bear, deer, raccoons, wolves. So there's a plethora of animals coming through this valley right here because of the high abundance of food. And we're talking lots of different types of food. So you were over in this area right here, right?
I stuck a dead branch in the ground. It must have fallen over. But the trackway, let's see.
It's right around here somewhere.
You went a little farther up.
Okay. There we go. Right there.
Yeah.
So here's the human footprint, you guys. I don't know if you can see that, but
There's a better one than that.
that looks human to me.
Yep.
Well, right here, right here, right here.
Yeah. Not sure how that one got made like that. That's interesting.
So let me, there's another one right there.
Yep.
Here you go, you guys. So those are human footprints. Somebody's trying to fake a Sasquatch.
Yeah, somebody took their boots off their kid and let them
Was walking around barefoot, yeah.
But look at the dimensions of this one.
Yep. That's an interesting one right there.
That's the one that first caught me.
So a
That's-
dog stepped right there,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
a-
there's the human part.
Yeah, but that's a 9 by 5.
Right.
So again, proportions are off.
Yeah, here's another one.
That's yeah.
There's one right there, you guys. So these are, well, here's another one. There's two of them right
Yeah.
here.
Although this one looks different. This one is actually about 3/4 of an inch longer. I taped them.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you know, human with a club foot or something, a foot deformity, I mean, certainly could be. Wouldn't
Cool.
rule it out. But that trackway wanders all around through here.
Here's a
There's
big one.
larger one again.
Yeah. So you guys,
Here and here.
there you go. That's pretty cool. I like that. So you got a big one and a small one combined together. Here's the small one, and there's the big one. But they look human to me. They don't look Sasquatchy at all. So somebody's probably right here, right here.
Yeah. It's not the one I was looking for, but
So somebody's like stepping on rocks and then stepping over to that other area
certainly could be.
to get the distance. Here's another one right here. It's weird. They're like a left and then a right close to each other, but they're too close together. That's weird. So we got 3 steps right here. Here's a footprint, there's a footprint, and there's a footprint. 3 of them. Here's some more. So it's right here. All the human footprints are right here.
Yep.
And they're coming from this way. This is east, you guys. So here's another one right here. There we go. But they're small. They're all right here. All of them.
Yeah, there's some over in here.
Well, here's a cool looking one. It's a little bit bigger. So the weirdness of these, you guys, is the toes are all far to the right. And then this one is kind of concave looking with the mid-tarsal little typey thing, but they're not. I mean, these are human size. But this one has weird toe formations. They're off to the right, and it's a right foot, so the toes are all pointed like this way. And then over here on the left, they're kind of sprawled out. That's really weird looking. Here's some more of them. So different people and different prints. So these are 2 different types of people here.
Yep.
So there's the print there, you guys, and then the next step is right there, and I would say that's about, you have a tape measure?
Yeah.
Let's just tape measure these. I'm curious.
Here.
Yeah, so we're gonna go from right there. Good, right there is perfect.
Yeah,
so we're gonna go from.
That's 11 inches.
All right, and then go all the way to that one over there. Leave it there. Oh wait.
It retracts.
Yep.
Gotta
hold it. And what do we got over here?
to the heel.
Yeah.
47.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. That's about 3.5, almost.
Yeah, well within range.
Yeah. But the interesting thing about this, Rob, is these are all different types of prints.
Yeah.
Like that one there, yeah. You guys, look at these weird prints. It's just really super weird. It's like somebody is trying to make them purposely. What do you think?
No, it could be. They seem to have come in from the other side of that log.
Yeah.
So I think what they did was maybe they took off their shoes on that log, walked across the sand, and put them back on again.
Yeah, that's a good possibility.
There's clearly a human one.
Yeah. So the interesting thing we found here, you guys, is that there's prints out here, human looking, and we're here in February, early May next week, and I've been up here all winter long, so the first time I've seen these, and these are small ones, and they look human to me. They don't look ginormous big, but here they are again, right there. There's a good, really deep depression in the frontal area.
Here's one of the wide, small ones again.
A wide, small one? Oh yeah, that's the one I saw up here earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one you guys saw earlier. Yeah, that's just really cool. I mean, there's maybe three different types of people barefoot out here right now. Did you walk way down here?
Yep.
Because this is the way they went.
Yep.
We're right on their trail, you guys. Somebody else has been out here. I think somebody made those, humans.
Probably.
They're trying to pull a fast one. Or, like you said, they're just walking around barefoot. They took their boots off and they're enjoying the nice cushy sand. Huh? That's a good one? I'll come and look at it. And then I got to get going. That's it for me today. I'm kind of worried. Here's an interesting one, you guys, again. So this is this really narrow foot with this big toe, and the foot marks are splayed to the... So I'm a 11, and that's at least a 10 or 11 right there. There's another one. Yeah, it went this way right here. So this is this funny looking foot.
Look at this one.
Yeah, that's the one.
And look at the pressure ridge. Look at the pressure in the sand.
So here it is. Stepped here, right foot, left foot went right there.
Yeah, look at the pressure though.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure.
I'm not making that kind of pressure, and I weigh 245 pounds.
Yeah, I know what you mean, right?
Of course, my foot's bigger.
But I'm 200 pounds, 210, and I'm not depressing down that hard either. I mean, I'm full depressing right now, all my weight, and it's not going down very far, you guys, and that completely moved the sand. It looks like there's a dermal ridge right there. You see that?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And when it pulled out, it curled the toes a bit there.
Yeah, the toes were
And
curled.
if this had been done when the sand was wetter, you wouldn't have had any of that
Right.
blowout there.
Yeah. Well, we're coming back.
Yep.
I'm camping overnight, you guys. This is my camping overnighter. It's going to be a 2-dayer. The first one's a 2-dayer. You know, so that person stepped there, then stepped here, and there's human footprints all through this whole area, you guys. And a good find today, Rob.
Yeah.
There you go. Your tracking abilities are shining. So, thanks for coming out here with me.
Hey, thanks for having me. Glad
Being a
to
part of the whole Pacific Northwest Sasquatch Research Group.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to be a part of the membership. I personally invited you and make you an honorary member.
All right.
I'm the founder of the company, so...
Well, I will gratefully accept.
All right.
Absolutely.
Cool. Good. Well, we look forward to seeing you again, and thanks for sharing today.
Yeah, I'm just sorry we couldn't get to that spot up there, but that's the way
No
it
worries.
goes.
That's the way it bounces out here. You know, and I talked about that in some of my other video vlogs, is that have an A plan and a B plan and a C plan.
Good idea.
Yeah. So that was cool that you found all these 3 different, I'm seeing more footprints all over now that you mentioned it. You guys, look at this. Look at that. That is a good print right there. Very, very, very nice. So they're all over out here. We'll be back, and I got to fly the drone today. It said on my monitor, it was giving me some obstacle avoidance center updates. So one of my forward-looking sensors needs an update. So I'm going to have to get online and do an update on it, and that way I can fly it farther. I flew it all the way down to that corner, all the way over to the river. That's south. So this is west, that's south, and that's east. I flew it all the way down to the alder tree ridgeline and got quite a bit of footage. And then I flew it back towards me on this side, which would be the north side. So that's it for today. We had a great day out here. Oh, what would you say the temperature's at right now? I would say upper 50s.
Think so?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking it's actually more like 74, so let's see.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, in the sun, it was warm.
Yeah.
What's your smartwatch say?
Yeah, we're at 1,005 feet elevation and 72 degrees.
There you go.